Hi everyone, it's Danny from the Grand Valley State University Career Center, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 resume tips to get you the job you deserve. Let's jump in. So today we're going to be using this resume as our example of things you should do and shouldn't do on your resume. Tip number 1, start by making a list of all of the experiences you have. So this includes full-time jobs, part-time jobs, internships, extracurricular activities, volunteer experiences, leadership, literally anything you've done. You're never gonna know what a recruiter might want to see on your resume until you have it all listed out in front of you, and then you can pick and choose from those experiences on what you wanna list. So, for example, you can see on her resume here that she has not only work experience, but also a school project that is potentially applying to what she's interested in. She's got some awards, skills, her education, so a lot of varied experience that is telling her full story. So that brings us to tip number 2, write for your audience. So you want to try to write for the job description to which you're applying for. So list out keywords that you see in the job posting, skills, experiences that you think will transfer over really well to this next position to which you're applying. So if I was Chrysanthemum, one thing that I would do is I would implement the keywords on the job description right into my current resume. So I would maybe make some changes to my accomplishment statements, maybe describe my robotics competition a little bit more, just really trying to integrate that job post into the document. Tip number 3, write impressive accomplishment statements. So an accomplishment statement is what you did underneath each of your experiences. So they want to start with a strong action verb and then use quantifiable numbers to then describe your results. So this might sound like I served 7 to 10 tables per hour in order to provide great customer service. It's so much more detailed than just saying I was serving tables or I waited on tables. So you can see in Chrysanthemum's resume that she has some really good details under her YMCA experience. We're getting a little bit of a bigger picture of what she did. I can understand a little bit more of her day-to-day, where her Applebee's experience is not as detailed. I'm not really understanding the full scope of what she did, and I'd love to see a little bit more detail there. Okay, tip number 4. Show skills throughout your resume, not just on the skills section. So you want to be weaving these really important skills into every aspect of your resume. You're not just going to list them on a specific skills section and leave them out everywhere else. So think about, what do I bring to the table? How do I show and tell my next employer what I can accomplish, what great skills I have, and how I've done those in multiple different areas. So on our example resume, you can see that she listed a few skills here, but what I really want to see is some of those described in her accomplishment statements. So she talks about customer service and time management, both skills that I imagine is really important to her as a server, but I'm not seeing those come to life in the accomplishment statements. So rather than listing them in the skills section, tell me and demonstrate how you've done that in your accomplishments. And then for your skills section, maybe add some of those more technical skills or hard skills that apply to the job posting that you're looking at. And that brings us to tip number 5. Avoid using a template. Oh my goodness, make your resume original. I have seen so many stacks of resumes that I've looked at for applicants applying for a job of mine that all look exactly the same, and I have a really hard time telling them apart from each other. And so maybe use a template to start, but then create it your own, make it unique, make it different, and you're gonna stand out way more than having just kind of a standard template off of Microsoft Word. So on our example resume here, old Chrysanthemum used a template, and we can tell. So let's take it off of the template, make it more unique, help it stand out a little bit better. Okay, tip number 6, keep that ATS in mind. Okay, what is an ATS? It's called an applicant tracking system. So recruiters are looking through hundreds, maybe even thousands of applications, and let's be honest, they need a little help. So that's where this ATS comes into play. So this is a computer system that is checking resumes for keywords, and it's gonna move some resumes through into the recruiter's inbox, and they're gonna weed out the others. So that's where we say, make sure to keep in mind that you're including those keywords that you're seeing on the job description, so your resume is for sure gonna make it through that ATS. And that reminds me, don't forget to subscribe because you don't wanna miss any future episodes in the future, including one that's on the ATS. So on our resume example here, one other thing that really messes with the ATS is a resume that has 2 columns. So remember, an ATS is a computerized program, and it is trained to read your resume from left to right like a book. So when you have multiple columns on your resume, it's gonna garble all those words up into one big line and not actually read the resume as you had intended it to. So again, just to make things straightforward and easy, include those keywords and make sure you have everything left to right, no double columns, straightforward. Okay, we're on to tip number 7, and this one is big, you guys. Don't let AI write your resume. Employers will be able to tell. A lot of times AI sounds really good. What they write is really like catchy, but it's full of garbage. Recruiters are gonna know if AI wrote your resume. They've seen a bunch of them at this point. They're gonna be able to tell. What AI usually does is it sounds really good, but then when you dig a little bit deeper, it's actually kind of empty. You want your resume to sound like you. You want your experiences to be in your own voice. And so make sure you're doing it yourself. Don't rely on AI because you're probably not gonna get through. And those recruiters aren't gonna trust you to do the job that you're applying for. All right, we are on to tip number 8, and that is do not include a picture or any other demographic information. So employers are actually not allowed to be biased towards anyone. So you need to keep your resume as unbiased as possible. So that means don't include a picture, your age, anything that maybe gives away any of that information about yourself, you might not be able to make it through. So make sure to take that picture off. I know there's a lot of Canva resumes that want you to put a picture on it, and it's tempting, but just don't do it. So on our example resume here, well, it's a really cute picture. Unfortunately, recruiters are not gonna wanna see this on a resume. All right, we're almost there. On to tip number 9, keep your resume short. Statistically, recruiters are only going to spend 6 to 7 seconds looking at your resume. So it's not a lot of time. If your resume goes on for pages and pages, they're likely not going to give it a second look. They're going to gloss right over it and move it on. So keep your resume to 1-2 pages max and really tighten up those accomplishment statements and make sure all of the important stuff is on those first couple of pages. Okay, we made it. Tip number 10, make sure to review your resume before you submit it. So we want to make sure that there are no errors, no typos, all of your punctuation and capital letters, all those little mini details are checked and in the right places. So we want to make sure that your resume is free of errors, it's nice and tidy before you send it off. So make sure you take the time to review it, go through it, make sure everything is in the right place, and then send it off to that employer. This might seem obvious, but truly I have seen all of it. I have seen resumes with errors. I've seen people writing cover letters to different positions that's different than the one they're applying for. So trust me, none of us are perfect, and it's always helpful just to give it that last 5-minute glance over. It could make a big difference. So on our example resume here, we see our friend Chrysanthemum didn't spell awards correctly. So she needed to do that little once over, just like you're gonna need to do that little once over. So there you have it, the top 10 tips to make you have a successful resume. Make sure to subscribe for future career content, and we'll see you next time.